also on the web. We're the Bay Area Creative Freelancer Guild, BACFG. We're so happy to have you all here. I also want to thank Epiphan for having us back. I think this is about the 4th time we've been back. So for those of you watching on the web, we are taking questions in the room, also on the YouTube comments. So if you have any questions in the comments, we are monitoring that feed. You can ask our presenter about how to market yourself. So when we came up with this topic, actually it was brought up by Robert Brilliant, who I'll bring up in a sec. We're trying to nurture a community of the freelance community. Basically, when I was talking to Cliff and Danielle earlier, lots of people are very creative. But when they feel like they have to be creative by themselves, it's not true in this case when you're trying to run your own business or be a solopreneur. What happens is, instead of being very introverted, you feel like you have to network and get out there in order to get jobs. But that's probably the least favorite thing of most people, because all they want to be is very creative, and they just want to get fun work to do. However, marketing yourself is just as important as doing the creative work, and that's how we get new clients. So we invited a presenter, thanks to Robert, Michael, how do you say your last name?
Neuendorff.
I did say it correct. Neuendorff, to come tonight to talk about how to market yourself as a small business and as a freelancer. So we're very happy to have him. Before we begin, I did want to talk a little bit about what's happening with our meetup. There's some exciting things going on this summer. This is probably the last formal meetup that we'll have for the summer. We're talking about doing some casual meetups, at a restaurant, a happy hour, or even a barbecue at a park. So thanks to our only officer, part of our meetup, Robert Brilliant. Robert, come up here. Join me up here. We're writing a charter. Thank you. He deserves that. Here, stand near the X. Yeah,
okay.
stand with the X.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Or we'll just stand like this, like a
stand like
prom
that.
photo. It's a prom. So basically, we have a lot of exciting things because we have extra help. We talked about rewriting a charter. So we have a first draft of the meetup charter, and that will include, what we're trying to do, who we're trying to reach, a code of conduct. What else?
Well, that's pretty much it for the time being right now. We're trying to generate new ideas for this group to make it fun. And we're a small group right now, but I think we could have like 100 people here at a meeting, because I think there's a large community of freelancers out there. So we need to get the word out and publicize it. So let's be creative, let's network, let's have a good time too, and become friends.
Thank you, Robert. That's fantastic. That was awesome. All right. Other ideas that we have, if you guys want to add to the creative brainstorming that we're having for this meetup, and I'm on board with Robert's idea of having over 100 people, because I do think that this is a meetup that is underutilized. I think if we have more brain power, we could come up with like a collaborative project. We all bring special skills to this meetup. There are writers, there are editors, there are shooters, there are producers. Let's get an opportunity to use that. Let's identify a nonprofit, and let's help them out with creating either a video, a blog, or whatever content that they may need. So that's one project that we have in the pipes. I'd like to introduce the 4 Winds. I am Charlene. I'm with 4 Winds Creative. I'm here with my business partners, Keith Bell and Todd Hallinan. Todd Hallinan is actually the owner of the meetup, and Keith Bell in the back, he's our Chief Strategy Officer right there. Also, we have a new member of 4 Winds Creative joining us next week, Danielle Valdez. Give a wave. She will be our production manager. So for all of those who, basically she'd be your point of contact if you're going to work with 4 Winds. So all the crewing, all the bookings and stuff, you want to make sure she's a happy person. And that she knows who you are. That's basically who Danielle is. Before we begin, I would love, well, first of all, if you want to get more involved, there's our slide there. Just contact your friends at 4 Winds Creative. But where are we right now? This is Epiphan Video. This is the reason why we're streaming live to YouTube. I'd like to invite Vic to come up, Victor. He's going to speak about what Epiphan Video is, what they do, and take it away.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, just a couple of quick words from the sponsor. This is obviously our office. It's not the only office we have. We're based in Canada, so we have a really big office over there. About what Epiphan does. So what we really do is we democratize live video production. And what that means is we make products for any sort of live video production that you may want to do, whether it be something small from a camera or whether it be a multi-camera 4K video production setup. So one of the cool new products that I want to show you, so can you pass me the Pearl Mini that we have there? So just quick, 30 seconds on this Pearl Mini. This is really a studio in a box. So this is kind of what we do here. You're able to connect multiple cameras, multiple microphones, soundboards, and so on, and do the whole live production just off this one little small box. So that's what I mean when I talk about democratizing video production. We really make it easy, we make it accessible, and we make it convenient. So with that, thank you.
Hey, awesome. Thank you. If you have any questions for Epiphan, they'll be right over here. Marta is the one who's our technical director tonight. Thank you, Marta, very much for making us look good. Yes, and switching the show. But they are around, and I would love to know how that studio in a box works. So if you have questions about that, make sure you ask Victor. All right, with no further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker tonight, Marketing Yourself as a Freelancer. I'm only calling up my phone because I have his bio here. So, no, I'm checking Facebook. Oh, I got like 4 likes for this meetup. That's fantastic. So Michael is going to talk about marketing yourself as a freelancer. Coach of the Year in 2014 by the Growth Coach organization. So we have a professional certified coach here tonight, the owner of Growth Coach in San Francisco Bay Area. He serves his clients as a business coach and sales trainer. Michael works with small business owners and their teams along with independent professionals to put together the right combination of knowledge and action and the mindset to attain measurably higher performance. How many people here want measurably higher performance? Heck yeah, that's why we're all here tonight. I agree. Michael's been in the coaching field since 2008. That's 10 years. I can do math. It's awesome. And was awarded Coach of the Year in 2014, as it says behind me. He also does a fair amount of public speaking coaching. That's good to know. So for those of you who get shy about speaking, I would recommend contacting Michael. And you know why I know that? Because Robert, when he first started joining these meetups, I think 3 or 4 meetups ago, he said, oh no, I'm too embarrassed to speak, I'm too shy. And no kidding, did you see him speak just a moment ago? Could you tell? No, he was incredible. He did a wonderful job. This is probably the second time he's spoken at a meetup. So thank you for being courageous. No, that was good. I liked it. He also does a fair amount, I said that, and is a certified corporate speaker. Michael holds an advertising degree from Arizona State and is a former adjunct faculty at Skyline College, where he taught a business class for 6 years. So this guy knows what he's talking about is what I'm getting here. He's also a former instructor within San Francisco State's Extending Learning Program focused on, guess what, social media. So, Michael, thank you for being here.
All right, Charlene, thank you very much. Marta, sound all right? Good. So I know that every speaker everywhere always says, I'm so excited to be here. But after meeting with Philip and learning about the Epiphan devices, I'm actually really excited to be here. Because these products, I never knew about them before, but now that I know about it, I want one. Because I love video, and I've used video for years to market my business. However, I'm very new to streaming video. The whole idea of streaming video, it's not that it scares me. I'm not scared of speaking to a camera. I speak to a camera on a regular basis. I just haven't made the mind shift of thinking that I should stop just recording, editing, producing, uploading, and just go straight to uploading live. So this has actually been an awakening for me, being here tonight and talking to Philip and learning about your products. So I've already been compensated in a great way by being here. And I'm being totally serious about that. Yeah. So thank you for having the event at Epiphan. I will learn more about these products. But I know it's not about me and my new love for Epiphan. It's really about you and how you can market yourself as a freelancer and find a new growth path to an increasingly successful business. So we have 20 minutes before we get to the Q&A segment. And in that 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you 4 ideas that can help you to grow your business put together. No one should operate in isolation. You should put these ideas together for a multiplicative exponential effect that would actually be really strong for your business. So before we start, I just want to understand, you said, Charlene, that we have video producers and writers, and Robert is both. What else do we have? Do we have something else other than video producers and writers? Do we have graphic designers? Okay, so we have a graphic designer.
And I'm an editor and cinematographer.
Okay, editor and cinematographer. Okay, so what else?
I'm a speech coach.
You were a speech coach. All right. Why is he invited?
The biggest competition is no one.
Oh, okay, all right. Fair enough, fair enough. Have we met before? No, okay, all right. Then I'm glad you're here, actually. If there were ever more speech coaches than people who need speech coaching, the world would be a very different place. So excellent. Speech coach. Something else. Is there, yes? Jack.
In this group at large, maybe they're not here today, but they come on other times. We have everything. We have animators, we have editors, we have people. As far as production is concerned, people do lighting, people do shooting, people do a bit of everything.
Right.
So it runs the gamut. And
Excellent.
they all need to promote themselves and get good work, obviously.
Okay, and then in the back.
No, I was going to
Steve.
what Jack said. I'm one of the people who do a bit of everything, so I would say I'm a generalist in this industry.
Right, so we have Jack of all trades and Steve of all trades.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I'm Mike of a few trades. So as Charlene told you, right? You cobble together a business out of a few things that you're good at. So idea number one, though, don't be of all trades. At least decide that you're going to be really good at one of them. That's idea number one, is what is your edge? I want you to have an edge to where other people will look at you and say, if I want this, I will go to this person, because I know that if I go to this person, it's going to get done as well or better than anyone else that I know. If you don't have that ability to command that sort of distinction and to be on that short a list, then you're not exercising this power. Because when you have an edge, then it makes everything else easier. Where freelancing, marketing a small business is really difficult is when we're not that good yet. We've hung our shingle, we've started our business, but we're actually still just pretty good. When I first started my business in 2008, I remember writing a blog post that was called, "If you build it, they will come." And what I meant by that blog post is that I was still faking it. I was faking it in the beginning because I left my profession as a marketing director at Oracle, and I went into the business of sales coaching, sales training, and coaching small business owners. But what did I really know about that? I had owned small businesses part-time since I was 15 years old. But did I ever actually blow it up and make real money? No. No, I never did. And so at that time in 2008, I decided that I wanted to end my trail of part-time small businesses that never went anywhere and actually go all in full-time. And I remember at that time that A, my wife was scared, and rightly so. B, the person who was selling the franchise even suggested to me that maybe I go part-time with it and keep my day job at Oracle. And I remember telling her, "Ricky, no, I don't want to do that, because I've already tried to have a part-time business before and add that to my full-time, and I don't think that's going to work because I'm just too busy." And my trajectory at Oracle was heading this way. I was actually in line for a promotion to senior director when I left the company. And I knew that if I took that job as senior director, which was the trajectory I was heading on, I was going to have to become a workaholic and give even more of my time to Oracle. It could have been as many as 50 to 60 hours per week, being on email regularly, working over the weekend, at times working maybe 2 weeks in a row. And as a father of a growing family, that wasn't the life that I wanted for myself. And so as difficult as it was to resign from that position, I did, and I purchased a franchise, and I decided that I was going to try it with all of my chips in. Now, mind you, this was 2008. What was happening in the economy in 2008? Yeah, right. Unless you were born after 2010, you remember that was not a good time to be starting your own business where you had to fake it till you make it. So I didn't have the exact right formula at that time, but I did have a franchise which had a proven model which I was able to exercise and put out into the marketplace. I didn't have to create something from scratch on my own. But what I realized after a few years is that nobody knew the franchise in Northern California. No one had ever succeeded with that franchise in Northern California, and it was up to me to be the first one. And that was a challenge that I took on, but found difficult, because in that first few years, the economy was really struggling. And I was trying to ask people to pay me for coaching when I was still a little shaky on how coaching works. So what I'm telling you is from my own personal history, I didn't have an edge at that time. So I would walk into appointments with people feeling a little bit shaky about what I was offering. I wanted to be good, and I had material, and I had a willingness, and I even had some track record of doing some training, some mentoring. I was a mentor at Dale Carnegie. I was an elder at my church and worked with people. I had been training people in my team at Oracle. There was a time when we would order series of classes on CD, and we would go into a room and listen to classes on CD. Kind of gives you an idea of how long I've been in the business. And so I had experience as a trainer and a mentor, but I'd never actually sold my services as a coach and trainer. Over the years, I came to find out that confidence really helps. And I know this presentation is not about selling, but what I'm telling you is that when it comes to sales and marketing, confidence helps a lot. And confidence isn't derived from just a positive mindset. Confidence is derived from having an edge and deciding that you're actually really good at something and being able to prove it. So my first sales job was when I was 15 years old. I sold newspapers in Sierra Vista, Arizona, which is a small town in southern Arizona about an hour from the Mexican border. And that was my first job, where I would go house to house selling the newspaper. And that was a great experience. I then started my own business selling bicycle parts to my friends. I also started a business selling pirated music on recorded cassettes. The statute of limitations is over, so it doesn't matter that I'm admitting it publicly over the internet. That was too long ago for the feds to hold me responsible. But I went through a series of pirating businesses. I used to sell MTV recorded videos on video cassette to the owner of a bar restaurant. That was when MTV first launched, and music videos were huge. And there weren't enough businesses selling recorded videos for restaurants to buy. And so I have a long history of selling and being in business, but I don't have a long history of being a coach. So what I decided is I had to get good at it. So I started studying it, reading books, attending courses, investing money. Same with public speaking coaching. I started investing money and going to boot camps and learning from the best. I went to a weekend camp in South San Francisco that was held by Steve Siebold. Steve Siebold is a $1 million speaker. He has been paid over $1 million a year for his speaking and follow-up consulting. It cost $4,000 to spend one weekend with Steve learning at the Embassy Suites in South San Francisco. That was big money. That was big money for me to pay that. But I did that because I wanted to develop that edge. And what I learned from Steve, I turned a corner in my public speaking coaching. I also learned from Craig Valentine. That helped me to turn a corner. So in developing that edge, you're going to get it in two ways. One, by working with people, steadily getting better and better through experience, and two, learning from the best. Go to the best in your business and pay to learn from them, because it doesn't just happen organically. Okay? Second point, have a killer website. These days, it just doesn't pay to have a poor website. There's too much competition out there, and there are too many people that will size you up first based on how your website looks. Don't look at my website right now, because my website is down due to an SSL upgrade. New hosting package, SSL, the website is down. We're working on it. Should be back up by tomorrow. So don't look right now as proof of my killer website, but look tomorrow. So what I'm telling you about this is last year, I had a person who is more successful than me tell me, he says, you know what, Mike, you're actually pretty good at what you do. I think you have an edge, but you know what? You don't represent yourself well enough on the web. Your website doesn't look as good as you really are. You're like a hidden treasure. You have to come out louder and prouder on the web. And so I thought about that for a while. And then I finally decided to bite the bullet, and I hired a marketing agency out of Chicago, and I spent an ungodly amount of money on my website. I don't even want to say it because this is being recorded and streamed, and so I don't want to say how much I spent on my website. But I spent a lot. And what I want you to think about is, if you look at your website, does it wow you? Does it impress you? Does it really make other people think, damn, I think this person's an expert? At least he sure looks like an expert, or she looks like a real expert. If your website doesn't say that, then you might be like me, where you're actually better than your website makes you look. Spend enough to make yourself uncomfortable having a killer website. Because your edge paired with a great website can really make you look good. Have a blog on that website, a blog with real content that's actually good, like MARTA level quality written content. Have video on that website. Video today is dominating the internet. If you have a website and it has no video on it, then you're making a big mistake. And if your website architecture won't handle video, take that as a big nudge to redevelop your website. Because I think today's websites should have video all over them. Because video captures attention, it makes people stick on that website, and the longer they stay on your website getting captivated by a few videos, the better Google ranks your website, because they like people to stay on websites. And so they want to see video on that website. Have a great blog, have video, have SSL. SSL used to matter for e-commerce websites. You wouldn't buy from a website that had that little lock. If it didn't have that little lock, you wouldn't buy. And you're thinking, but wait, I have a brochure website. I'm not actually selling anything through my website. Google wants SSL on that website now too. And without it, Google is going to start delisting you in the search engine rankings. And if you had page 1, you might find that you're now on page 2. You worked so hard for page 1, and just because you don't have SSL, you may now be on page 2. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's really important, and that's why I was willing to break my website to figure out how to put SSL on it, because it's that important. Okay, so that's website. Number 3, social media. You should have a platform that you're using to engage with some sort of community. As you already are aware, communities are existing all over the web, and they're congregating around the major social networks. Whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Houzz, there are specialized communities within these social platforms. I've decided to focus on YouTube. That's my major platform. I have over 100 videos on my YouTube channel. I have over 600 subscribers, and I've gotten real business through my channel. I mean, thousands of dollars worth of sales training business through my channel because I have real content up there that's educational. Content like this exists on my YouTube channel. My best video, my best performing video, is a 30-minute sales training class that's gotten emailed to me from around the world and got me hired by people locally. So if you're going to focus on a platform, make it good. Make it good. Don't spread yourself thin across lots of platforms. This is a mistake that freelancers and small businesses make. I have to be on LinkedIn. I have to be on Twitter. I should also have a page on Facebook. No, you don't have to be on all these different platforms. But what you do need to do is decide on one and be good there. Own that platform. Post regularly. Post good content, educational content. And this is crucial too. Understand how to pay to play on that platform. Because the days of organically growing your business on a social network, they're over. They are over. If you follow Facebook, you know that Facebook is now a pay-to-play platform. Twitter is a pay-to-play platform. LinkedIn is a pay-to-play platform. Snap is becoming one. Instagram is already one. Facebook needs to monetize all of their platforms. The creators of WhatsApp left because Facebook is monetizing WhatsApp, and they didn't like it. But we should like it, because paying to play on a social platform that we have focused heavily on is the way to get a greater following faster. So don't resist spending money on your chosen platform. Really important. Okay, let's go to our fourth. Our fourth is getting referrals. As a freelancer, you don't have a large marketing budget. You don't have a marketing agency working for you tirelessly to get you PR, to get videos posted regularly to your channel, to get newspaper ads put into traditional media. You don't have that. But what you can do is have an extended sales force out through a referral network. One of the reasons that Bay Area Freelance Group exists is because you can have a sales force that's working for you at each and every meeting. You have to take the time to determine who should be on my extended sales force. Who can I get to know that can refer me business because we serve the same people? You've heard this again and again, but I would bet that if I sat down and interviewed each one of you, I'd find that at least a few of you are underutilizing the power of referrals. My best gig last year came from a referral because I had presences all over the internet. And she found me in one community and called me up, and I ended up getting lots of business through her referral. So much that I would send her Christmas presents for the next 5 years, like big baskets. I would send her because of that one referral that she gave me. And guess what? I write her checks for those referrals. We entered into a deal. She said, I'm going to give you this referral, but you're going to write me checks for 10% of it. And I said, deal. No problem at all. And I signed an agreement for 15% a few months back from another great referral source. Be willing to pay for referrals. That's a secret that most people won't tell you. Most people think, well, just organically. Just organically, I'll give you referrals, you give me referrals. And that works. That works pretty well. I get referrals from existing clients who actually pay me, and they give me free referrals. That's a win-win, and that's a real bonus. And I'm happy about that. But also think about paying someone for referrals, because then you're elevating yourself into an area where most freelancers don't play. They want everything for free. I want free social media exposure. I want to build my website myself. I want to go to meetups and not spend a lot of money on membership. I want to try and make it all happen organically. And what I'm telling you is that keeps your business small. And I need to tell the truth because I'm a coach. So that's why I'm telling you that it keeps your business small when you're not willing to go up to a higher level and pay to have a website that makes you uncomfortable, pay to play on the platform that you choose, pay for referrals, and pay other people to train you to give you that edge. So that may be the theme here, is that you may have to step up your investment in your business this year or next year to go to that next level. But I can almost guarantee you that when you do those things, you'll be surprised. I just met a guy today who's been in business for almost 18 years. And I asked him, what are the secrets of your success? And he said, I tried to do it all myself with one employee for 8 years, and I hit a wall. And then I borrowed money and hired people I couldn't afford. I didn't even have the revenue yet, but I took someone's advice and I followed it, and I spent money I didn't have with interest, and my business went to another level. And so I heard it from a guy that has a business much more successful than me. Follow the advice of mentors and spend money, and that's exactly what he did. So I hope this information is going to be helpful to you. I have my notes on printed handouts, and you can take it with you. I've created handouts that you can take with you. Also has my contact information. If you want to follow up with me and have a consultation, more than happy to do that for you at no obligation. And then, of course, direct you to my YouTube channel where I have classes like this pre-recorded for your education, and one day live streamed. Philip, you have my word on that. One day live stream, because that's the next level for my business, right? Investing in equipment to take me to a new technological level. Okay, Charlene, so questions? All right, let's go to your questions. Let's dig into any of the topics that I talked about. Let's dig in. If you want to get practical, tactical, let's do that.
Sure. Thank you for the presentation. A lot of stuff here that either I hadn't thought of or runs counter to things that I just thought.
Good.
But I don't have the experience, so it's good to hear from someone who has experience. One thing you didn't touch upon, unless I missed it, which is the face-to-face communication, either on the phone or face-to-face. Any tips for, again, getting that edge across? Because your website may do something for you, referrals may do something for you, but you're sitting in front of that person, and now you've got to present yourself and your business to that person. How do you close that last step, that last mile?
Yeah, okay. So how do you convert that interested person into business? All right. Before I answer that question, let me give a pro tip. LinkedIn has a service called ProFinder. If you haven't heard of ProFinder yet, you can sign up with ProFinder for free and submit your expertise to them and be in a network of professionals, and you can get leads sent to you for free from LinkedIn ProFinder. And so I get some leads from ProFinder for coaching. So that somehow it triggered that idea. And I know you recently had a LinkedIn speaker, so maybe that person shared that. Okay, so I'm first going to answer the question, Jack, by saying if you have a great presence that got someone interested in you and clearly spells out your edge, and you also have good content on your website or on your social platform of choice that educates and inspires someone, the deal's already half done by the time they come to your office. And I mean that with all sincerity. When they will take the time to come and see you, they're saying, I'm interested in doing business with you. So it's your job not to blow it, right? Because the sale's already half made when they come and see you. So that's a sure closing signal, is they're taking their time to come to your office and come and see you, right? Or inviting you to come to their domain and see them. 2, have a good idea of how you can help them. If you can do a little bit of research on who this person is to understand what it is that they want from you. What I like to do first is have a phone conversation that gives me some insight into what their needs and desires are so that I can zero in on that when we actually meet face to face. So do a pre-interview and get some questions answered about how do you think I can help you? And then not offer all the solutions up front. Just learn about them, understand what they're looking for, and qualify. Because people that come and see you to your office and take up your valuable time should be qualified to do business with you. Because this is a mistake that people make, is I'll meet with anybody. No, don't meet with anybody. Meet with people who are qualified to do business with you. And so if you've done that qualification through that interview and said, you sound like you could be a good fit for my services. I believe that I could help you solve the problems that you have. Let's talk about it further. Let me come to you or you come to me. And so express that confidence because you've qualified them. And then once you actually sit down and talk, spend a lot of time learning more about what their pain points are and their desires for where they'd like to go. Because if you spend more time talking to them and letting them tell you about their situation, and then you're nodding your head and smiling, and then you have an idea of what you can do, and you truly see the fit, you will be able to present them a solution that is a fit because you've clearly understood their problem, and you have integrity to say, I can solve this problem. And so you offer the solution that you know actually works, and that generally works. I usually don't have to use a closing technique. I usually just offer what I can in sincerity with some level of confidence that I can serve you. And I found that that works pretty well, actually. But look them in the eye when you say, I can serve you, and I believe that we can do some good work together.
Any other questions? We also have 4 people on the web. I want to say thank you. If you have questions, just enter it in the comment section.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm waiting for your question.
Victor?
Yeah, so my question is, while growing your business, out of all the marketing channels that you used, whether it be AdWords or social media or whatever else, what has worked the best for you?
So out of all the channels that I use, my primary platform is YouTube. So that has worked the best for me. Secondarily, it's LinkedIn. So that's where I spend most of my energy, is on YouTube and LinkedIn. The reason that I spend most of my energy on YouTube is because I believe that through all my years of investment in learning how to speak publicly, it's given me an edge in terms of my ability to market myself. I can sell myself better than most of my competition because I can speak better than most of my competition. And so why not leverage that? All those thousands of dollars I've invested in learning how to communicate, why not leverage that by putting up video of myself? Because my videos sell me. So I use video as a closing tool. For example, Jack, when someone says, I'm interested in hiring you, I may send them videos so that they can get to know me if they haven't watched videos of me, so that they can be pre-sold. So YouTube has been great. Secondarily, LinkedIn, because the people I do business with are on LinkedIn. I do business with people who are in business, right? I'm a B2B business, and so LinkedIn is the B2B social network. I don't do a lot on Facebook because I've just found that Facebook is a great B2C platform. I have clients that are rock stars, pet coaches, pet training coaches. Yeah, they're not a pet coach, but they're a coach that helps train owners of pets. Okay, pet owner coach. So people that are in B2C businesses, I had a parent coach as a client previously. Those people are terrific for Facebook, but I haven't found that that's a good platform for me. So that's why I say find the one that's for you and then focus on that platform.
Good question. Anyone else? Cliff, in the back.
So what about like targeting your customers or customer personas? Do you target different customers in different ways?
I first want to answer the question by saying my ideal client has been in business at least 2 years, is profitable, has multiple employees, and at least $2 million in revenue. That's my ideal client. So I know exactly who I serve well and who I would like to serve. That doesn't mean that every one of my clients fits that profile. I mean, I've talked to you about some people like the rock star client that I have. He's not a rock star nationally. He's a rock star locally. He doesn't have $2 million in revenue. And he has a band, but they don't really work for him. So he doesn't have employees. And yet he's been my client for like 8 years. He's a great, great client. And we've done a lot of good work together. So I work with people that are solopreneurs. And I work with people who are owners of pretty significant businesses. And I also work with executives when they want to present well. So I work with people at very large companies that generally hire me out of their own pocket because they feel like I'm stuck here and I can't go here because I can't present well. And that's like the last skill that I need to perfect before I can get promoted to VP, for example.
Robert?
Yes, Michael, I was just curious your thoughts on cold calling, cold emailing, putting together a list of people you don't know and then just trying to contact them. Is it worth doing? Is it effective?
Oh, that's a good question, Robert. And I do have an answer for that. I think that cold calling and cold emailing does work, but you need to do it at scale. That cold calling, say 5 people a week, could take a while before you're actually able to get some traction. But if you were willing to cold call, say 100 people a week, I worked with a team of salespeople that were selling security software, and they had a team. They had about 15 people in New York. They had about 20 people here in the Bay Area, and each one of those salespeople were tasked with calling 100 people a day. And out of that 100 people a day, sometimes they would only get one person to answer the phone, Steve. One. And they didn't leave voicemail because they said no one ever returns our calls. So we don't even leave voicemail. We just call 100 people a day. And here's where that was really inefficient. They didn't have calling software. I worked with a salesperson in a much smaller company that had a much smaller sales force working the phones, but they made an investment in calling technology that actually you upload your list into the software, and the software dials your target. So you upload the list of your target market, and the software dials your targets one by one, and when someone answers, they route the call to you. So all you do all day is talk to live people because the software is calling through your list for you. You have to, they're cold calling. Now, this is a B2B business. This is a B2B business. But that software also uses local numbers in each market, right? So if they're calling someone in Des Moines, it's a Des Moines number that's ringing on that person's desk or on their cell phone because you're more likely to answer a local call because you're thinking, is this related to the school, my doctor? It's like, who's calling? My auto mechanic? I don't know who's calling, but it's local. I should answer it. And then it's that salesperson who's been trying to get a hold of you. So cold calling has been elevated to a much better level, but if you're doing it the old-fashioned way, be prepared to make a lot of calls. Cold emails, really difficult because of email filters. A lot of email filters end up spamming your email and sending it into the junk folder, so they might not even see your email. But I still get email every single week that's unsolicited, and most of it I ignore, but there are also services that send that out, right? So you can use services to send out unsolicited email. It is true legally that a business can spam another business. That is not against the Can-Spam Act. What is against the Can-Spam Act is a business emailing consumers. That's a violation. But businesses can cold email other businesses all day long until you say, take me off your list. Then you need to take them off the list. Okay? So I think you should if you're not getting enough business through the other things that we've talked about, right? Yeah, but that's not top of the list. Yeah. Okay.
We have time for probably 2 more questions. Okay. Todd and
So you mentioned ProFinder, which we use also, which you can do 5 proposals, right? They accept 5 proposals. So how do you make yourself stand out over
On
the
ProFinder?
others? Yeah, on ProFinder.
Right. Yeah, that I wish I had the formula that works, Todd. I am happy to say that I actually have gotten a client through ProFinder. I have gotten a client who pays, a real paying client, which is wonderful. And I have a client that also works ProFinder and has gotten much more business through ProFinder than I have. And I have another client that just got a lead through ProFinder, first meeting coming up next week, and he signed up just about 1 or 2 months ago. So I'm seeing some results through ProFinder. What I recommend is that you personalize every reply. Don't just have this canned script that you paste into ProFinder and send it. Don't make it seem like a commercial. Make it seem like As little information as you have, you're trying to get to know this person and kind of guess. I try to guess the situation of the person because you get really little information. And so I try to guess the situation and then even suggest a scenario as to how they might improve their situation. I try to give a little mini coaching plan, like a roadmap. And I write out the roadmap, which takes me as long as 15 minutes to write that reply. But I get only maybe 2 a week. I don't get a lot. So I get maybe 2 or 3 a week. Sometimes they come in bursts, and then sometimes a whole week goes by, I haven't gotten a single one. But I try to personalize every one, and I found that that has gotten me several phone calls. And then it got me one paying client. And before I met that paying client, I went online and did research about him, as I had suggested. Yeah, sure.
Great presentation, by the way.
Thank
You very much for taking the time. Small follow-up to the last question. Regarding LinkedIn and in general monetizing platforms, do you feel that LinkedIn Premium is worth it at all to you or to freelancers in general?
Mm-hmm. So I have a LinkedIn Premium account, which I signed up for probably already 5 or 6 years ago, and I've been grandfathered at the price of $24.95. And if I quit, I won't be able to get that package again. LinkedIn has been kind enough to allow me to maintain it as long as I keep paying. If you pay now, I think the minimum is maybe $35 or even $40 a month, and they may even ask you to sign up annually. I just pay per month. So it can be pricey to sign up for a LinkedIn Premium service. Where it can pay off for you is if you're actually going to use the platform to try and do what Robert asked about, which is cold emailing people. I believe that LinkedIn is a better platform to cold email people, or cold message, so to speak, than just using Gmail. Because what LinkedIn does with your in-mail, is what they call it, is they send that email to the top of that person's LinkedIn inbox. And LinkedIn has not created a segregated inbox like Facebook has. Facebook now has 2 inboxes, one that your friends' messages go into, and then another one that's kind of like your junk folder on Facebook. LinkedIn doesn't have a junk folder. Your in-mail goes right into that person's inbox, and most people have their LinkedIn set up to where they get the in-mail on LinkedIn, and they get an email notification in their Gmail that says you have a message on LinkedIn. And you get a notification icon when you log on to LinkedIn. There's a little red number 1 up there, right? So you're getting notified potentially in 3 different ways by LinkedIn that you have a message. And so I feel like LinkedIn does their part to meet you halfway to warrant the expenditure of having the premium account. But if you're not going to use it, don't pay. Because the search features below sales plan, there's a sales plan which is like $50, $60 a month at minimum. That has super search features that salespeople can use, but these are salespeople that are doing it as a career. I mean, they're working sales all day long. And so the Sales Navigator plan is really good for them. You'd probably go in at the basic business plan, and the in-mail is the number 1 feature of that. Just be sure you would use it. If you would, then I would say it's worth giving it a try. And they'll give you a 30-day trial for free anyway. So give it a try. Send some in-mails out. Thank you. You're welcome.
That's all we have for Michael Neuendorff tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll be hanging out if you have any questions. If you have any questions about Epiphan's offerings, please talk to Victor or Marta. If you have any questions about becoming an officer, please talk to Robert, myself, or Danielle, or Todd, or Keith, or even Caitlin.
Wow.
So much. So we have networking here up until 8 o'clock. So we still have lots of wine and we still have some food. So please enjoy. For those of you on the web, thank you for joining. We'll be posting this link later. How many of you would like a handout from Michael that has all the points? I
have the handout.
Great. He will pass them out. And then there'll be a soft copy that we can distribute later on. So thank you so much for joining. And everyone, enjoy the networking. Yay. Thank you, Marta.
I have the handout, and I also have pens. So if you would like a handout and a pen, please grab that.
Ooh, and a pen.
Yeah. Hey, I told you got to pay to play, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're rocking that.
I paid to play with you guys. Yeah, you're welcome.